warriors. Some days, am I right? Holy shit. Okay, so TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. I want to talk to you all about something, most people can feel, but they can't quite explain it. And I wrote it all down because, sorry, my brain it's one of those days, like I said. I wrote it all down because number one, my brain is okay. And secondly, there's a lot of information and I want, to get it out efficiently and clearly. But anyways, I'm talking about predictive programming and the hidden forces behind it. And I'm not talking about the boogeyman in the shadows. I'm talking about, the energetics, psychological, and interdimensional patterns that, shape the collective experience, reality that we experience. Sorry. Most people think predictive programming is just, they show it to you before it happens. It's deeper, it's older and it's spiritual. And it's happening on a level, that most humans are just only now becoming awake to. Predictive programming isn't just media, foreshadowing events. Jeez, oh, piece of mess. It's a mass influence technique that uses imagery, symbolism, narrative, repetition, emotional triggers, to direct the collective consciousness toward a desired timeline. Why does it work? Because humans manifest through belief, and beliefs form through repetition. If you can get millions of people to expect something, their emotional energy helps create that outcome. That's the gateway, that's the loophole. That's how it works. Here's where it gets real. Behind predictive programming are 3 layers of influence. You got human systems, which is, your governments, your corporations, your institutions. They benefit from a predictable population. We all know this. Thought form identities. These are energetic beings created from collective fear, anger, obsession, desire. When millions of people think the same thing, it creates a living energetic structure. It feeds on emotion. It influences emotion. These entities don't need bodies. They use stories, symbols, and repetition to stay alive. Predictive programming nourishes them. You got interdimensional consciousness. Not, demons, not fucking monsters. It's non-physical intelligence. They just resonate at a lower frequency. They are not here to, destroy humanity. I mean, quite the opposite, really. They feed on emotional distortion, fear, chaos, division, and predictive programming creates a fucking buffet, These entities influence human creativity, media, and ideology by whispering inspiration, by pushing, narratives and seeding symbolism. Because the more humanity vibrates in fear, the easier it is to steer. They don't force, they suggest, they influence, they plant ideas. Humans carry them out. Why they do it? The simplest truth. Human emotion is energy. Energy is currency. Where the predictive places its attention creates power. Predictive programming does 3 things. It normalizes chaos. So when it happens in real life, it feels expected, right? Less resistance, equals easier manifestation. It shapes human expectation because expectation is one of the strongest forces in manifestation. If the collective expects dystopia, then, the timeline shifts towards dystopia. It feeds low frequency entities. Fear is food. Anxiety is food. Uncertainty, food. The more destabilized people feel, the more energy these entities have. How you're kept disconnected to make, how you're kept disconnected to make predictive programming effective. They rely on overstimulation, distraction, trauma cycles, emotional overload, constant crisis, entertainment as sedation. We all have seen the kids and how they're, they don't even know what the hell is going on around them because they are so into their phones. You literally could scream in their faces and they can't hear you. When you're disconnected from your intuition, you become dependent on external narratives. Disconnected people are predictable. Predictable people are controllable. This is why old souls, intuitives, empaths, and awakening beings all feel so repelled by the mainstream media right now. Your spirit recognizes the fucking manipulation. Your nervous system feels the distortion. Your intuition senses the puppetry. The part no one talks about, it only works on the unawakened. Husband disruption. I wasn't being, I wasn't judging, okay? But it does only work on the unawakened. Predictive programming loses all power over someone who is conscious, emotionally regulated, spiritually aware, grounded, intuitive, aligned, self-aware. It doesn't work if you don't internalize it. The spell, it requires, it doesn't work if you don't fear it. Okay? It requires your belief to function. Once belief is removed, the spell breaks. Awakened people are immune. How to break free of the programming? Be mindful of what you consume. Everything you watch is energetic data. Question narratives, not fearfully, but, consciously. Ask yourself, does this align with my intuition? Stop feeding fear timelines. Fear is manifestation fuel for them. Withdraw your energy. Strengthen your intuition. Meditate, breath work, nature, silence. Reconnect to sovereignty. Claim your reality instead of adopting programmed ones. Become, an observer, not a participant. When you watch media consciously, you see the patterns. And once you see them, they lose their power. Predictive programming is not about predicting the future, guys. It's about manufacturing a future through subconscious influence. But you, the awakened ones, are the glitch in the system. You're the interruption, the disruption, the anomaly. The light they can't program. When you break free, everyone around you begins to wake up too. Because awakened consciousness spreads faster than fear. You are not here to be programmed. You're here to deprogram the collective. And your awareness is already doing that, legends. I love you.